Why do you have issues to get, if you have issues to get the pressures correct in a track, then unfortunately that means that you're not consistent yet. So either that, or you are touching with your tires, you're going a little bit outside of the asphalt, you know? You're touching the grass, going in, back again, you are losing pressures because of that. So when we start doing our setup, and the first step is always adjust the pressures, you need to not go for the lap time. You need to go for consistent, stable, easy laps, even if they are slow, without getting to the risk to get the car outside the track. Okay? Let me show you what I mean. No, it's okay, still good. So, when we say hop on the aggressive setup, do a couple of laps, okay, and check your pressures. And you say, well, I tried this, but unfortunately it's very difficult to adjust the pressures because they keep changing and I don't understand what to do. This is what happens usually. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but my experience says that unfortunately this is what happens. So you get out, especially in a track like Silverstone, okay, and you start things like that. Bam. Then you go here. Bam. You see exit. And then again, here you cut a lot. Bam. And then here again. Bam. And so on and so on. Now, when you do this, okay, at the first laps when the tires are still cold and the pressures are low, what happens is that some of the pressure, because of the tire pressure is low, the tire sidewalls are still soft. They move a lot when they get hits like that from the curbs and from going outside and then in the track again. So they get hits and they release some pressure outside. You lose pressure, okay? So even if you do 3 laps, you have heat up their tires, the pressures have gone up, but you do not know how much pressure you've lost. So you do not know how much pressure you've lost because you went outside like me, like this, or simply even by just cutting a little bit the road. So you probably lost some pressure, but you don't know how much. Which means that when you go back to the garage like that, okay, and you check the hot pressure, and the hot pressure says 25.1, right? And so you say, okay, 25.1, I need to have 27.1, so I need 2 psi more. No, you don't know that, because it might have been that your hot pressure was 25.5, but because you went outside the road, you've lost some pressure, and it went down to 25.1. So you wanted 27.1. You raise by 2 psi here, okay? You raise by 2 psi here on the cold. Then you go out again, and instead of having 27.1, you have 27.7 now, because you didn't cut the road. So again, not correct, go back, go in, and you don't know. So when we say go out and do 2 or 3 laps, okay, what you really have to do is this thing. So you have to go out, and you have to do 2, 3, 4 laps, whatever, but in a consistent way, pressing the tires, but never keep the car as more as possible on the asphalt. Use as little curbs as possible, and absolutely don't go, outside the road. Absolutely not. If you see that you went outside the road, abort the lap, go in, start again with cold tires again. So you see, just don't go out. You have to do this, because if you go outside, you might lose pressure. Fucked up. I believe that's the reason why you're not able to find out the correct pressures on some tracks, especially, for example, Silverstone, when you have lots of downforce, you have very high speeds, and to do the lap time, you need to cut. You need to put your tires outside the road. But for while you're still doing the setup, especially the pressures at start, do not cut. Start slow, bring the pressures up, work again, then start pushing. I hope that helps you. I think that's why it's happening.